back in 2019, this is way before Isaac talked to me about the podcast. I was in my room, lying in bed. I was telling the universe, I was like, please give me something that will, benefit like everybody, like the whole world. Like something that has something to do with creating. And I didn't know it was podcasts. Like I'm already a photographer. Yes, I want to do that too. But so for me, like when the lockdown happened, I set the same like intention, like give me something where we can create every single day that will give value, not just for us, but for other people and whoever's watching and listening. And then Isaac out of nowhere like reached out to me. So I thought that was like, whoa, the universe told me like this is it.
Welcome back to the podcast. Today is a very special episode because guess what? It's the Bliss Seekers.
Hey, we're here.
Right? So
Uno, dos, tres.
Exactly, right? So we decided to do an episode with us because we haven't been on the podcast in a while, probably a couple months, right? And it's 2021. Happy New Year to everybody out there. Before we get started, obviously, thank you for tuning in. Please make sure you subscribe to our channel. Make sure you smash that like button because it really helps us out with the algorithm, and make sure you hit that little notification bell because it lets you know when we have new videos coming out. But anyways, good to see you guys again. Happy 2021.
Happy 2021.
Hatem's usually behind the camera, behind the scenes, but now he's a star today again. Yeah. So let's get into it. How did you guys' New Year's go?
I spent mine in nature.
That's good.
Yeah, actually, like the 31st, I was at home. But like when I woke up, like first day in 2021, it just came to me like I need to be in nature. Yeah. Like right away. Then I text you and like I ask you about the place, like in the cabin place in
the
nature.
The Fern River Resort.
That was beautiful. Like I just like want to be there.
Yeah, talk about that because I know that we're gonna end up doing a video there. I talked to the owners; they're really cool. But tell us a little bit about your experience because it's an amazing place there.
Yeah, actually, it's like a resort, like in a national park, I think.
Mm-hmm. It's right outside of a national park. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, and like I don't know, like when you are there, like you are just surrounded by trees. Like you don't know where are you exactly. It's just like trees, and I felt like I'm not in California. I don't know. I felt I'm somewhere else.
Tell everybody what city
it's in Felton.
Felton, I think like close to Santa Cruz.
It's between so we're in Campbell, California right now. It's between Campbell, California and Santa Cruz. So it's pretty awesome because it's a staycation. So you don't have, some people like right now travel's restricted. We can't go too far. But this is a place that's about 20 minutes at least from where we're at right now. I think maybe like an hour from you guys because you guys are in the city. But I mean, it's 20 minutes from here where you can, like Hatem said, literally feel like you're not in at least the Bay Area anymore. That's for sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like the cabin, like is very beautiful. Like it's just like wood. Everything is like from wood. Like it had like it's different experience. Like you are not like in a hotel. Or you are not in like in resort. Like you are like you feel like you are in the wood. Yeah. And just like walk distance from your like spot, there's like a river, and then there is like I think the national parks. Yeah. When you cross the river.
Yeah, I think it's called Henry Cowell State Park. Yeah. I'm not sure, but because I've been there. Obviously, that's why I kind of know a little bit. But I wanted to hear his experience because it's pretty awesome. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think there's like a river that separates the cabins from the state park.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and you crossed that river.
Yeah,
in the cold weather.
It was freezing. I wasn't expected that.
Yeah.
My original plan was I want to like dip in the river.
You're gonna take a little, little swim.
Cleanse yourself.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then like I just tried to cross and like my foot like start hurting. Like it's cold. Like it's like colder than the ocean. Like, I was surprised. Yeah, even like last time we went to Manchester and like we have the water coming from the mountain and it was like frozen, like there's like snow on the mountain and it wasn't that cold.
Really? So it's colder than Mount Shasta?
Yeah, I don't know how, but
it's that river water or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it took me like 3 times like to cross the river. Like
how long was it? How long did it take you to cross?
It's 20 feet like
Yeah,
that.
it's not that
It's
far.
not that
It's not that
far.
far.
But
Just-
like just few steps in the water
Yeah.
and like you are already like, oh, that's cold.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
I mean, it was pretty cold when I went a couple months ago, and that was, I think, October. But it was still warm, you know, in the Bay Area. Now it must have been like really cold, like pretty
Oh
cold.
yeah, January.
Yeah.
December.
So you did it, and you made it across.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you record it?
Yeah, I have some.
Yeah, you
Some
guys will see a
videos.
video, so look out for his video on that one. Yeah, but yeah, like you mentioned, like they have cabins for rent there, and it's all different sizes, like from a studio to even a 6-bedroom presidential suite. So one of the goals for that I want for us is to get the 6-bedroom presidential suite and have like a big Bliss Seekers like event there, and then obviously create a vlog or a video about the actual resort, because it's been there for many, many years. I think it's been in the family for over 30 years at least, maybe more. And they were just telling me a little story about how it used to be a school, and then the family owned it, or it was by a school or something, or it used to be the dorms for a school. I'm not exactly sure. But then they created cabins, but the original owners were so old school that they didn't really know technology, so they didn't have a website. They weren't listed like on Airbnb or nothing. Just until recently, when either the younger generation took over, they hired a marketing manager that put them on the website, and that's when I got to know about it. And then I went, and then obviously I shared it with you. But it's really cool because if you don't like roughing it, like me, I don't like roughing it. The cabin, you feel like you're in a home. Like a very nice home, right? It's got all the amenities.
Yeah, and like they have heater. This is like the best
Yeah.
part. Like it was like inside was very warm, was
Yeah.
very nice, and you go outside like 50, and at night like was maybe 45 degrees.
Wow.
Was cold night.
Yeah, and then the water was probably like 0.
Yeah, and like you are inside, like very nice, beautiful, warm, and very comfy, and
Yeah.
it's very affordable. Like
Yeah, 100%. That's another
Yeah.
thing. How much was it for your cabin? Is it just you?
it was 115 with taxes.
If you think about that, for a whole cabin, this is not a room. This is like a house.
And the other thing, this is like January 1st,
Yeah.
like still like this is the like New Year weekend.
Yeah.
Like this is, and you can get this during the week, like $70.
Yeah, see guys.
That is
So-
a good deal.
and then if you get the big presidential suite and you break it in between 6 to 10 to 12 people, now you're like paying $50 a night for literally like a presidential suite cabin. So we definitely got to get out there. What else? Because I know you wanted to go out there to connect with nature, and I mean, I'll share my experience after. But what was it like the nature there? Explain that. Like it's pretty cool.
Yeah, especially like once you cross the river, like you feel like there is nothing around you. Like you are just like in the mid of the forest,
Wow.
and it's just like you don't hear any noise, you don't hear anyone. Like you are kind of far away from the cabin, and you are far away from the park, the national park.
Yeah.
Because like I walk like a little bit more, like I was like walking there, and there are a lot of people like there. Like once you walk like into the park,
Okay, once you get in the park, there's people there.
yeah. But like I want to connect more with nature, so I
Yeah.
was like close
You're
to
like-
the river,
Yeah.
and
So you were
Just-
secluded by
yeah,
yourself.
just like feeling, the ground, feeling the trees, and feeling Mother Tierra.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I didn't. When I was there, I actually didn't cross the river. I mean, I went in the river, but I didn't cross it into the park. We drove actually to the Ox Trail because we wanted to go to something called the Garden of Eden, because that's like a swimming hole where you can go to. So we drove up a little bit, but so there's three ways you could do it actually. The first way is what Hatem did. You could just literally go from your cabin and go across the river if you're brave enough, if it's warm enough, or even if it's not, if you can make it through. And now you're in the state park. But you're kind of like on the outskirts, I guess, of the state park.
Yeah.
Or you could drive down a few minutes and go into the entrance of the state park. And there you can go like redwood hikes and all these really nice trails. Or you can drive up to the Ox Trail, climb down and go across the train tracks, and that's where you find the Garden of Eden. It's like a little river where you could swim all across the river. It's like a little beach. It's pretty awesome.
We got to explore that then.
Yeah, and it's 20 minutes away from here,
Yeah.
which is crazy,
It's
right?
perfect.
Yeah, so that was awesome experience, Hatem. That was your New Year's Day. That was your first experience in 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is like exactly how I want to start my year.
yeah, that's a good
And
way.
It just came to me, you know.
Yeah,
Like last year, I was in Vegas. I was like
very different, right?
very
Yeah.
different. Like
Yeah.
I didn't wake up this time hangover or anything. Like I wake up feeling like awesome,
Yeah.
feeling great.
Yeah, that's a good feeling, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't wake up feeling hungover this year. I didn't do anything. I just stayed at home. But it's always a good feeling when you don't wake up like hungover and
Yeah.
sick and like, what did I do? Or then you go eat some
What
bad
I
stuff.
have done last night.
Yeah, what have I done, right?
I know that feeling.
Yeah. So how was your New Year's?
Well,
Joe?
speaking of last year, I actually meditated.
Oh,
Me and
nice.
my friend went to like some kind of meditation center in San Francisco.
This year?
I wanted,
Oh,
like
wow.
last year.
Okay.
Sorry, New Year's Eve of 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, it was really interesting because I just wanted to be calm and like pretty much clear, right?
It's pretty smart.
So a couple of days ago, I told myself I wanted to be in nature too.
Really?
But I just didn't know where to go, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking. Then my friend Miranda was asking me, like, what do you want to do? Like, I don't know. I just like, I don't want to spend time with animals, right?
Yeah.
And then one thing I told her, I was like, I love horses. Like, I love animals in general.
Mm-hmm.
And then we ended up going, she actually surprised me. We ended up going to Olema, California.
Okay.
It's near Point Reyes. And
Okay.
we were driving. I'm like, oh my God, we're going horseback riding. I'm like, this is heaven right now.
Wow.
So we did that for New Year's Day. The other thing I started doing in New Year's Eve, I started writing down my intentions,
That's awesome.
goals or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I just wanted to like be quiet and then just be clear because I think having clarity is very powerful. So especially, before you start the new year. So that's what I did. Write down my intentions, New Year's Eve and then New Year's Day.
That's awesome.
And then I got back on social media, I think today. So I was like off of it. Yeah.
So both
couple
of you
days.
guys were kind of disconnected in
Yeah.
nature.
Yeah.
And the horseback riding. So
Yeah.
tell us about that. Like, how was your horse? Like, how long did you guys ride for?
Yeah, it was an hour. My horse's name is Willie.
Oh,
He's
Willie.
like,
There you
yeah,
go.
all Willie,
Yeah.
16 years old. So it was me, Miranda, and our guide. Her name is Jenny.
Okay.
So there's three of us in this trail. It was so beautiful. Like all you hear
Wow,
is
only three of you guys.
Yeah.
So it's like a private horse
Well, it
show.
was like a private tour.
Oh, okay.
There was other people too, but I don't know where they went.
Okay.
But it was three of us.
Oh.
It was so quiet. It's kind of like Jurassic Park. Like,
Wow.
you're like surrounded by all trees and it was freezing at one point, but the sun like was shining down on us, and there was one point where all you hear is the horses like moving around, right?
wow.
And
Yeah.
we're just silent looking around like,
Yeah.
oh my God, this is beautiful.
You should have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
That's
sound, and it was just so. It was healing. It was therapy. So we were on that for like an hour.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
it was a good hour trail.
Yeah, that's awesome. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I don't know. I'm kind of traumatized with horses and there's nothing wrong with horseback riding, but me, I'm traumatized
Yeah.
because when I was like 10 or 12, see, my family from Mexico, they own horses, so I thought I was all bad. I was like 12 years old. I'm like, put the spurs on me. They're like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah. And they put me on this giant horse. And it was like, and I was like kicking it. And it was
Yeah.
going so fast
Oh, man.
that my legs, I couldn't control my legs.
Wow.
So I was kicking it with the spurs, but also pulling back. So the horse was getting angry.
Yeah.
And it just took off. Like even like my uncle and my dad were like running after the horse because like, thank God I was like in a circle, right? In a stable. Or I would have been, who knows where I would have been.
Yeah.
I would have been like 8 miles down that way,
Yeah.
right? But anyways, so that was my trauma experience. And ever since then, I've been like, but I did go horseback riding in 2017 in Costa Rica.
Okay.
So I qualified for a company trip with, WFG, and it was beautiful. We actually rode, we hiked for hours. Then we horseback rode to a big waterfall, and then we hiked back down again. But that was actually the last time, and I had no choice because I was with a big group of people.
Yeah.
You know, and it was pretty crazy though because some of those trails were nuts.
But I mean, like you did it.
Yeah, I
so,
did
Yeah,
it.
that's awesome.
So you
But
can do it again with us.
But I was terrified the whole time. You know what I mean?
Like
Yeah.
I have like I have like this natural connection with horses. I
That's
like
cool.
it's hard for me to explain it. I feel the love. Like you look at each other's eyes or whatever, and I talk to my horse while I'm riding it. Like thank you, buddy. Like thank
That's
you.
cool
like,
though because horses
yeah.
can sense if you're scared or not.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to dominate the horse. Like if you get on a horse and it knows that you're not dominant, it's gonna do whatever it wants. It's not gonna listen to you, right? Like
yeah.
you're gonna be like go, and it's gonna be like no, I'm gonna stop and take a dump right here, or I want to
Yeah.
pee. You know. So that's another thing, right? But
yeah.
anyways, maybe
Yeah,
one
for
day,
sure.
well, you know, obviously got to conquer your fears or whatever. But
We can find you like an old horse.
Yeah.
Or like
I
a
need
pony,
Willie.
like a
barely
baby
like
Willie.
walking. Yeah.
I need Willie, like the
Yeah,
old one, right? But it's
exactly.
too
Yeah.
old to do whatever.
So for me, it was like such a beautiful thing to start my new year and doing one of the things I love, and you know, setting affirmations and a lot of things I want to accomplish this year, and with the Bliss Seekers as well. So it was a great start of the year.
I think
yeah.
I think both of you guys had an amazing start to the new year, you know, and you know, affirmations are very powerful. You know, I
Yeah.
know we're going to talk about that. Well, let's just talk about that, right? So, you know, I've always been big on affirmations, you know, and they say it's super important never to go into a new year or a new month without having your affirmations and your goals set, because you're kind of already behind, you know. But if you write them and you have them done before, then you're already like ahead of the game, kind of like a head start, right? Because you're already entering the year knowing what your goals are and knowing what to do, instead of writing them and you've already a week has already gone by of the new year and you're barely getting started. So kudos to you for getting that done, you know. But I just wanted to share how powerful affirmations were, because this podcast, you know, we're going to talk also about kind of like a year in view of the Bliss Seekers, right?
Yes.
But back in May, this podcast did not exist. Like the idea didn't even exist. You know, and so I was always taught through mentors and, you know, business and stuff like that, that goals and affirmations are very powerful. Why? Because let's say we're all going to a shooting range, right? You guys follow me here? And then I go, shoot that, Joe. And you're like, shoot what? I'm like, I don't know, just shoot. Guess what? You're just shooting all over the place. You're not going to hit anything, right? But if I say, you see that target right there? I want you to hit that. And then obviously you're going to hit it because you're focused on it, right?
Yeah.
So that's the thing about goals. If you don't have goals, you're not focused on anything. You're just kind of like all over the place, right? But if you have certain goals that you want to hit, then eventually you're going to hit them because you're focused on them. So I want to share some of my goals that so I wrote these down in May. So remember, our podcast, we've been around since about June, right? I think that was when we released our first episode. But I wrote this down in May. I had a previous career. I still have the business. I love the business. It gives me passive income, and I learned a lot from them. That business actually allows me to do this, right? But my first goal was save $150,000. And by the way, your goals have to be big. If you hit all your goals, they're not big enough. That means you're thinking too small. So just a note to you guys out there. And by the way, leave it in the comment section. What did you guys do for New Year's? Were you in nature? Did you write down your goals? Or just let us know what you did. But anyways, I just want to share this, not to say like, look at me, but just to show you guys how powerful affirmations are and how they actually work and goals and stuff like that.
Also, if you guys want to share any intentions, affirmations, write it down in the comment below.
Definitely. All right, so I want to share these goals with you guys. So my first goal was save $150,000. I'm not there yet, but I mean, I got about between 20 and 30 saved, right? Purchase a fourplex in Southern California. Haven't done that yet, but maybe that's in 2021. Maybe for the Bliss Seekers, I don't know. I know Hatem likes Southern California.
I do too, actually.
You do too. So hey, I want to purchase a fourplex there. It doesn't mean I have to live there, but maybe split time between the Bay Area and there. Sell my car. I'm not going to sell my car because I changed a little bit of strategy there. Pay off my credit cards. That's done, right? Raise my credit score. At the time, I'm going to share this with you guys. Oops, sorry, I got to watch my hand. My credit score was like in the high 500s, which is really, really bad. But I'm proud to say my credit score is now over 700.
Wow.
Right? Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that, right?
Good job.
Thank you. Whew, makes you feel good, right? Get a travel point credit card. So, I've been sharing that with everybody.
Yeah.
Hey, let's get those credit cards now. Let's get the points so when travel opens up, we can travel for free, right? Like, why not spend what you're going to spend now, but get travel points? So that's where your tickets are getting purchased from. So I have one travel credit card. I almost got all the bonus points on it. It's about 60,000 points.
That's awesome.
As soon as I finish with that one, I'm going to jump on to the next one and the next one and the next one. Purchase a Tesla 3. Not going to do that anymore because I'm not going to be buying any new cars or new bills, right? I'm just going to keep my car, maybe sell it a little bit in the future when it makes more sense. Moved to Southern California. Haven't done that yet. Fixed my chipped tooth. I did that, but then it broke again. So sorry if you guys see my tooth in the podcast. It's going to cost me a little bit too much to fix it, but I'll get it fixed again. Reduced my cost of living below $1,500. I'm pretty close to that, but I haven't sold my car yet. But I mean, my cost of living was close to $7,000 a month. Now it's like, that's what it was before.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's how much I was paying just to get by every single month. So if I didn't make $7,000, I was basically negative, But now I could live off of $2,000 a month.
That's
which
awesome.
what does that do? It makes me free. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not making as much money as I was when I was working in my previous business, but I live below my means and I'm free, right? Because I don't have anything tying me down, really. The only thing really tying me down right now is my little old dog, but she's fine. She can go with me, right? Promote an SMD. I just promoted my first senior broker in my previous business. Aman, congratulations, right? Start a podcast. I have Start Podcast.
When was that?
This was May.
Well, that was in May.
Wow. Yeah. Start creating. Find videographer. Hey guys, there he is right there. Master YouTube. I haven't done that yet, but I'm learning, right? Get out of my lease in my office. I got out of my lease in my old office. Have all equipment for the podcast. Guess what? See what we're using? All this equipment. It says have all equipment for podcast and YouTube. Done. 2 mics. I just put 2 mics.
Now we have 4.
Now we have 4, right? And a property in Italy. That's going to be a long-term thing. But I just wanted to share that because I wanted to show you guys that 90% of what I wrote down actually happened. But when I wrote it down, I had no idea how it was going to happen. I didn't know when it was going to happen. Some of it I didn't even believe was going to happen, But I just wrote it down and I kept saying it every single day in my affirmations, like, reading it and it happened. So to you guys out there, the listeners, if you want to achieve something, write it down, right? Because first it starts in your mind, then you put it on paper, then read it every morning and read it every night. I promise you it's going to happen. You guys are looking at the culmination of just something being written down on a piece of paper and the universe in action making it happen. So here we are from 2 mics to 4, from no videographer to a videographer, from no podcast to a podcast, from no YouTube channel to a YouTube channel. And we're on our way. So I just wanted to share that. But you wrote down some goals that you said.
Yeah. So I want to mention a few things that actually came true for me. I wrote down like maybe over a year ago that what my credit score is going to be like. So I went from 500 to like almost 750.
Wow.
Within 2020.
That's awesome.
It's 2021 now. The other thing is that I wrote down maybe 2019 that I'm gonna be a U.S. citizen, and have my U.S. passport. I'm gonna have my MacBook Pro.
Wow. Because
when you edit, I do a lot of photography edits. It's just smart to get a MacBook. So I got that. I got the lens that I wanted, Canon 24-70. I know it's a lot of material things, but one of the things that I definitely manifested when I was back in 2019, this is way before Isaac talked to me about the podcast. I was like, in my room, lying in bed. I was telling the universe, I was like, please give me something that will, benefit like everybody, like the whole world. Like something that has something to do with creating. And I didn't know it was podcast. Like I'm already a photographer. Yes, I want to do that too. But so for me, like, when the lockdown happened, I set the same like intention, like give me something where we can create every single day that will give value, not just for us, but for other people, whoever is watching, listening. And then Isaac, out of nowhere, like reached out to me. So I thought that was like, whoa, the universe told me like, this is it, and gave me that. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's like one of the biggest ones that like I actually like came to me and manifested.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad it all manifested because here we are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And guys, like we're just sharing this with you guys to let you know that we want to help you manifest things in your life. Like, you know, and all you got to do is set an intention, write it down. I recommend reading it out loud. Already accomplished, by the way. So it's not like I want to, or hopefully it's I have, or I started, or I am.
Yeah.
So make sure you do it like that, and that's how it works. So
yeah. Also, like, I was in a stage of my life where, like, oh my God, there has to be something better than this.
Yeah.
I always tell myself that whenever it's like, you know, it is the whole pandemic happening. I'm like, what about my dreams? Like, what about my goals, right? And I keep telling myself there has to be something better than this. And I think with what we're doing here, what we're building with the podcast, we are giving a lot of value to people, even though we're not able to, like, you know, go to Peru right now or go to different places, but at least we're doing something here. And I'm really grateful for everyone who's been watching us so far, from outside of the United States too. So
yeah, thank you guys. And we can't do it without you. And again, this is going to be the #1 podcast in the world in the future. So, but we do appreciate all the people that have watched and liked and listened to our videos and commented. So thank you. I know you set some intentions too, and it was kind of funny when we connected. You were kind of already seeking something from the universe too, right, Hatem?
Yeah. So like at the beginning of the year, like 2019, I was like looking for my purpose, my life mission.
Yeah.
And I was struggling like to find it. Like I tried other businesses and I didn't feel it, you know?
Yeah.
And then like I start like just go deep inside myself and like just like be connected, you know, with God, with nature, with everything. And trying like to understand like why I am here in this, you know, dimension, like why I'm here on earth. And I start like asking myself all these like big questions, like start questioning everything too. And just like I start questioning myself, who I am, where I came from. I start questioning.
You went deep.
I went deep. Like I was questioning like religion. I was questioning God. Like and I was like watching, like learning a lot. And because I know like if you want to like to get to the truth, like you have to be like open-minded. Like you cannot be like this is the truth and I gonna try look around. No, like like you have to be open to all possibilities. So like last year was like for me like that. Like I was just went deep, and then like it just like came to me like I love videography and photography, and that was like I think in May or June,
around the same time that I was writing these things down.
Yeah, and like it just came to me. Like I was on YouTube and it just came to me like this is my passion, like videography. Like I want to be doing documentaries. I want to like share, like give voice for someone doesn't have a voice, have the platform for them, and sharing my experience. And then it just came to me and start learning. I started learning about like how to do videography, how like what equipment you need, like and all other stuff. And I created my first video. Yeah. And it was like, I took this video like almost a year ago, and I have it on my GoPro, but I didn't know what to do with it, you know. I have couple videos and I didn't know how to edit. Yeah. And I know like if you have a dream, you have a goal, the how is not important. Right. Like especially like in this generation, like you can't say I don't know, like because there is information everywhere. There 100%. Is classes everywhere about everything. Right. Like you want to learn how to cook, you want to learn how to do videography, Photoshop. You have no excuse.
That's like, a good point. Yeah.
You can learn anything, you know, from home. Like you don't need to take a step away from your bedroom.
That's true.
So yeah, like the how for me was like is not important. Like I wasn't focusing on the how. Like I just want to see something I really love, I really enjoy. And I know like I enjoy videography. So I start learning how to edit. I got all these videos together and I made a video and I have it on Instagram.
Yeah, I remember that video.
And then Isaac saw the video and he was, wow, that looks good. And you sent me a text message like, do you know how to like edit? I was, I'm learning and stuff. And then, we got connected and we started like doing the podcast.
Yeah, that was crazy. I still remember that because like literally the day before I saw the video, because I was looking at, you can go to Fiverr and hire videographers. You can get anybody. You can get it for a very cheap price too sometimes. But I was like, I don't want that. I want someone that I can work with, like that shares the vision, that because it's just better that way than someone just slapping a video together. Like anybody can slap a video together, but if they share the vision, if they understand, if they're part of it, it's just better. You know what I mean? So, and then I can interact with them and we can grow and kind of learn together. So, right, the day before I saw your video, that's what I said to the universe. I said, universe, send me this. Like, this is what I want, Yeah. And I didn't think anything of it. I was like, whatever. I think I was just talking out loud. Well, lo and behold, the next day, I'm scrolling through Instagram and I see Hatem's really good video. And this is when he was just getting started. It was already pretty good. But this guy is super talented. So, and then I saw the video. I was like, that looks like a YouTube video, because you were doing the hand thing, Well, I just probably blocked the camera, but you were doing the hand thing where you covered the camera and you cut to like a new scene, right? And so that kind of looked like a lot of the videos I was watching. So I just hit him up. I was like, hey, are you a videographer? And he's just like, no, I'm learning, but I'm fired up about this. And yeah, man, the rest is history. I had already spoken to Jho. I don't know if we recorded one yet or not, but I just remember I spoke to Jho. I said, hey, man, I remember we clicked. I remember you also want to create. Like, I'm looking for a co-host. Let's do this. She's like, yeah, let's do it, and here we are.
And just to let everyone know, usually behind the camera, I want to say 100%, 99.9% of the time, because I do photography as well. So it's like me definitely stepping out of my comfort zone when our first podcast till now. It's like, and now I'm learning as long as I have something value to say, and like, I'm just being honest and being real. I feel like it's easy. It's easier for me now. So
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Funny,
it was scary.
I
It was nervous. I was
never
so nervous.
realized, but
Really?
you never made it seem like it was, to be honest.
I
never
pretty
once
nervous.
realized like you were that, like stepping out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. Thank you, because that takes a lot. And
Yes.
to not say it either,
Yeah.
not like be like, oh, I'm nervous or whatever.
What's funny, like, cause you used to be like behind the camera,
Yeah.
and right now you're like in the front of the camera.
That's
Like,
crazy.
it's different feeling.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I've always wanted to be in front of the camera too.
No,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now this is a great opportunity to be here.
Yeah,
Do
so that should teach you guys something.
Mhm.
If you're scared, just do it. I mean, you're not gonna die.
Yeah. And it's not live. We
Yeah.
edit it.
Yeah, you get to edit too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other thing I want to share, like, it took me a while to find like my passion or my mission. Like, it's not gonna like happen like just right away. Like,
100%.
like I start my personal development in 2018.
Okay.
Like, start just like reading books, like learn from other teachers, and trying like different businesses. So it took a while. Like, it's almost like took 2 years to find something I really love.
Wow.
And the other things, like, I was trying like to make money. Like, my focus was the money. And the moment when I said I don't care about money, I want to just be happy, I want to find something like feel good about myself and to help others. Like, this is like I want to do something to help. Like, it's not just about me, it's about others. Not like me collecting money. And the moment I just like said that, like, everything started to change.
That's awesome.
Like the universe listen and start, giving you stuff.
Exactly. Yes.
I saw a quote the other day. It says, chase the passion and the money will follow you.
Exactly.
It's almost like the money sees you being happy and fulfilled and going to do something big and helping others. And the money goes, I want to follow that. Like, that's the type of person I want to attach myself to. Because they say money is just energy.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, money is just numbers on a computer.
Yes.
I mean, unless
Paper.
unless you're carrying cash, which most of us don't. I don't handle cash that much. But unless you handle cash, it's pretty much just digits on a computer. That just gets bigger and bigger and bigger,
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty awesome. And I wanted to make a point on what you said, because it took you 2 years to find your purpose. I mean, I'm 43, so it literally took me about 43 years to find my purpose, And by the way, sometimes your purpose in life is going to mold and change. But I don't want you to be discouraged because like when I was young, I wanted to, play in the NFL, and then I got hurt and I was no good. So that dream ended. Then I wanted to work in the NFL, and I got into the NFL with the Raiders. Check out my video on the Bliss Seekers. It's one of our most watched clips. You'll hear the story about that. So I got an internship and I wanted to work there, but that didn't work out. So for many years I was kind of like feeling bad, like my dream didn't come true. And then I started doing other businesses, like you mentioned, Hatem. I was chasing money and all that kind of stuff. And then I finally found this, which is creation and content creating. And then I feel like I found my purpose, which is pretty amazing, But I'm 43. So just to point to that, I mean, Hatem, I know you're in your early 30s. I'm in my early 40s, So you could find it when you're young. It could mold. It could change. But the goal is to find it. So I'm excited for all of us, right? And we're all very talented in our realm. Like you guys are just very talented in what you do.
Thank you.
Photography, videography. And when you're in your lane, when it's a little smooth, you know what I mean? Like, and it's not going to be smooth. There's going to be bumps in the road, but it's a lot smoother. When you're off the path, it's like, you feel like what's going on? Like everything's going wrong. Like that's when you kind of know you're on the wrong path, but it's exciting, right? So you found your purpose. And here we are with the Bliss Seekers 2021. We're entering our second year, technically.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're entering year 2 with the Bliss Seekers, right? And it's going to be more exciting. Last year we had a lot of good things happen, like, hitting certain amount of views, like hitting certain amount of milestones. But we're not happy, right? We learned a lot last year. I mean, I don't share about that. How was your first, it was about 6 months, let's say half a year, in this realm of content creation, podcasting. What would you say was your experience in the first 6 months? What'd you like? What'd you learn?
So one thing I didn't expect, and which is like, I learned a lot from the guests, like from sitting, and watching like you guys talking with the guests and going back home and listen to it again while I'm editing. Like I learned a lot, and I know like right now, I know the value of all the podcasts we have done. Like even if we don't have like a lot of followers, a lot of views right now. Not yet, but like the podcast is there. And I know like next year or like this year, 2021, so many people gonna go back again to the old podcast and like they're gonna see it and they're gonna be, oh, that's awesome. That's great. So.
Yeah, it's like you mentioned, it's pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? It's pretty valuable to learn from people's stories,
Yeah.
Because we get to hear people's stories, how they accomplish things in life. And that's all lessons in itself, because if you really watch and learn, like these people are successful, they've overcame things for a reason, because they never gave up, or they were mentally tough, or so there's so many lessons. But also we're making an impact in their lives, because they hear from their families, and their families are like, wow, I've never heard your story before. Like I see you differently. Like I can't believe you went through all of that. So we're already making their lives better, because their family, their friends look at them better, differently, because they're more understood by everybody, right? Because nobody sits people down and goes, let me tell you my whole life story. You know what I mean? Like nobody's going to want to hear it, right? But if you put it on a podcast, then people will listen, right? So we're already adding tons of value. What about you, Jho? Your first 6 months in creation, what did you like? What did you learn?
Yeah, I think one of the things that I didn't like fully expect was like being so inspired by so many people. I mean, I knew I was going to be inspired, but I just the amount of quality and the stuff that they share, like I cried at one point, and one of the guests cried at one point too. And it also inspired me creatively, and like I started doing the 6 Qs, the 6 powerful questions, and just to get a little deeper, and basically get to the core. Like, I don't know, inspired something in me. I started asking those 6 questions. And the other thing was like it's really, when we sit in this table, like we're so present, like we don't even know it's like an hour later, 2 hours later.
That's a good point.
Because we're just like literally just connecting with, you know, the people that we're with in front of us, and just I just like forget what's going on outside of this world, like outside of this room, basically.
That's a really good point.
The other thing is like what I really love about us too is like we have been learning every single time, like what mistakes we've been doing, like camera angles, lighting situations, what's behind me, what's behind you, like
lessons, right? Yeah.
lighting and like stuff like that. So I think that's one of the things I like, that we just continue to improve and learn from whatever mistakes we've been having. The other thing too is just like really like listening to people and their stories and giving that space for them was I know that's really important. And you know, we have all kinds of guests that comes here that has like different backgrounds, different experiences. Some of them could be like pretty traumatic, like, you know, bombs getting thrown around her kind of story, you know what I'm saying, like almost dying from car crashes. You know, it's just like people are so interesting and I love it, and we get to do this.
That's awesome.
You get to just sit here and like have a conversation and just ask them questions, and just like, wow, people are definitely fascinating. I know I love animals a lot, but people are definitely fascinating too. Yeah.
You said something important. It's like we're present, you know. Like
Yeah.
How often does someone get and stay present for 1 to 3 hours in their life? Like we do that a couple times a week, which is pretty crazy. You know, what's meditation is being present. It's like being in the present moment, like listening, learning about people. So that was pretty powerful.
Yeah, and also like exchanging energies, right? At the end of the day, we're human beings, and we love to connect and talk and share whatever experience we may have. And like people say some things that they never told anyone before.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, that's an honor for you know, one of my friends, Sergio. He says something on his podcast that he never said to anyone before, or like out loud in front of people.
Yeah.
So
Thank
that
you,
was
Sergio,
amazing.
for using
Thank you,
our
Sergio.
podcast.
Yeah. So it like, I think after a while, it just even made me realize like, wow, like even him, like definitely made me realize too, like we are really doing this for, like to have a platform for people to express themselves. At the same time, I'm getting inspired. Everyone's getting inspired.
Yes.
And people who are watching it are getting inspired. So everyone's getting inspired, basically.
That's awesome.
You know?
Yeah, so this is one thing, like you was saying, like we learn how to listen. Like this is also like new skills I got. Like just learn how to listen, to understand, not to respond. Because like usually, like you listen to someone, you're not really listening. You're just like thinking in your head, how I gonna respond to him? But now with the podcast, like I'm just listening. Like there is no like agenda, or I don't know how to say it. Just like you're listening to understand.
Yeah.
And
that's true.
the other thing I want to add is like we're not on our phones whatsoever. We're actually talking in front of each other, not on texting someone
For
else,
2
with
hours.
having conversation, and it just like it's a beautiful type of a connection. So
Yeah, I mean, there you go. Like so many, it's crazy, but so many things that are beneficial, that just because we decided to do this. And I think that's probably why podcasts are so popular, because people don't connect anymore. People are not present anymore. People don't have deep conversations anymore. And most people don't get an opportunity to share their story.
yeah.
You know, because you'd seem kind of selfish if you said, hold on, sit here for 2 hours and let me tell you all about myself. You know what I mean? Yeah. But in a podcast, it's a medium where people understand that people are going to share the story. You know what I mean? So that's pretty cool.
Right.
Well, we're excited. We're learning a lot. And obviously there's a lot more to learn, a lot more to grow, but you know, 2021 is a brand new year. You know, and there's still some things going on. We're still dealing with a couple things. One thing I want to mention, or we want to talk about, is like, you know, the big thing that's going on is the stimulus, right? You know, and you know, obviously we believe in creating our own way, but we know there's a lot of people suffering. We know there's a lot of people that are out of jobs, and there's this whole thing going on with the government and Congress not being able to figure it out, and I don't know what's going on really. But I just read an article where Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi, who are both the leaders of their party, right? Their houses got vandalized and like spray painted on and said, "Where's my money?" and stuff like that. What do you guys think about all this stimulus and this $2,000 and all that? What's your take on that?
I think part of it, like, just they trying to distract the people from something.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of distraction. Like, why they don't set a date already and we're going to decide on this date, or this is the money you guys going to get. Like, why it's going to take like 6 months, like 8 months to decide like if they're going to give the money or not.
Yeah.
It's just like kind of distraction. And anyway, like, what's like the 600 or 2,000 gonna do for someone, you know,
Nothing,
like lost his job, like, or someone like he didn't work for 6 months, like $2,000, what's gonna do for them?
Right.
And I saw like some memes, like someone like gave his landlord $600, like this is for
I saw that you posted that in your story.
This is like for the last 9 months, like I didn't pay rent for. So
Here you go. Here's $600.
Buy a cabin with $600.
yeah, so it's just kind of distracting from, I think, because like COVID, like I don't know, like because closing the businesses, I don't know what they're doing, but
yeah, it's just I don't know, it's crazy. A lot of it has to do also I think with politics. Number one, agendas, right? Like the whole election was one of the biggest things because it was like, do we pass it or not? Will it help Trump stay president or will it not? So that was a big game until the election. Now the election's over. Now we know who won, and now it's like another big game of like, oh, 600 or 2,000 or whatever, right? In the end, like, you know, I know there's people suffering. So if you are, we feel for you, and we hope that you do get help. But in the other end, it's also like they don't really care about the people, right? And these are politicians that are pretty disconnected from like the normal population. You know, they're all doing well. You know, being a politician in Congress is the only job where you can be there for like your entire life. Like you don't get fired, like you don't lose, like there's no term limits or whatever. Like there's career politicians where they're there for 30, 40, 50 years in their job, right? But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Now they're saying that if it didn't get passed now, so now we're into the new year. So now they're talking about they're going to keep delaying it until Biden so there's something going on right now, which is the Georgia elections. So I don't know if you guys know about that, but right now, obviously the Democrats have control of the presidency. The Democrats have control of, I'm not sure if it's the Senate, I believe, but the House, it's a House or Senate, I'm not sure. Leave it in the comments which one it is. I don't follow it too much, but right now the Republicans, I think they control the House, but there's 2 seats that are available still, and there's an election coming up this month in January. So if Democrats win those 2 seats, Democrats will control the House, the Senate, and the presidency. So basically, they'll have full power control of everything. If they lose those 2 seats, now it's going to be like a bipartisan. They're going to have to agree with each other. So I'm hearing that first it was because of the election. That's over. Then now it's because of the Georgia elections because the Republicans know they lost the presidency and they could potentially lose Congress, right? And then now they're saying if after the elections, now they're just going to probably wait till Biden's sworn in office. So they're going to be dragging all these people around.
Yeah, I think other reason too, like imagine like if they give the money now, they're supposed to give the money like 6 months ago, right. And then people are going to be like, this is not enough. We need the next one.
Yeah.
So that's why they are delaying. So they will give you all you want.
Yeah, maybe potentially. Yeah.
Because like they already did one. Like, how many months ago the first one was?
It was a long time ago. I don't even remember. I think it was probably May?
Like mid-year, yeah.
May?
Yeah.
Something like that.
I mean, like, if they give one, like, in, let's say, September, then everyone going to say, like, this is not enough. We need the third one.
Yeah.
Then they give the third one is not enough because it's not enough. Like, what's like the 600 does or 1200 is going to do for you if you lose your job, you know?
Yeah, but and that's something that goes along with not just the check, but there's like unemployment that got cut off for people. So there's like millions of people on unemployment, and it got cut off in December for some people because they don't have a new deal. So now people don't have unemployment. I mean, yeah, the check. I mean, they already passed the $600 bill. Like, that was done. And then Trump came in at the last minute and said, I'm not signing it until people get $2,000 checks. So that was kind of like the curveball that Trump threw against everybody and kind of changed everything. And now they're all arguing over 2,000, right? But anyways, so yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. And like you said, I mean, I don't think 2,000 is going to save somebody's life if they had been out of work for months, you know? But it's something, at least.
Exactly.
Yeah. Something.
And they hopefully they're getting unemployment, right? You know, and that's keeping them afloat. And but yeah, I don't know. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Politics are crazy. We don't like to talk about it too much, but we just wanted to mention that because that's what's going on right now in the world. And
well, I actually didn't even know about it.
oh wow!
I went to work in New Year's. I wasn't even the day before New Year's Eve, and then my manager was like, "Hey, did you get your stimulus check?" I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, 600." I'm like, "Oh."
And you already
I
got
didn't know
yours,
that.
right?
And I got mine today.
Wow.
Today's the 2nd. So I was like, oh, cool.
See, that's
whatever.
the secret,
I'm
guys.
grateful
Don't even
for
focus
that.
on it, and you'll get it.
Yeah, don't even focus on
Yeah.
it. But I definitely I hope that we'll get a 2,000 as well. You know, like for me, I'll take whatever I can get and just like, you know, use it wisely and save it. So
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
For me, they didn't give me any money because they said like, because in 2019 I worked a lot, so I didn't get any money.
So you earned too much money in 2019.
Yeah.
Oh.
But like it's 2020.
Yeah,
like,
you're like
no one is working. Like
Yeah.
why you judge me about 2019?
I know,
Like,
like, dang it, man! I had
And
too
it's-
good of a year.
and 2020 is done. Now we are 21. Still, like I didn't get any money. So
Wow. Well, hopefully, because they said if you didn't get it the first time, you might get it around this time too. And there's a lot of good stuff for self-employed people, like the PPP loan and stuff like that. So if you want to learn about that, please, Google it. There's some good channels like Meet Kevin. I always watch him and learn a lot about like finances and stuff like that. There's a lot of help out there. Right now, the government still needs to the Congress needs to get their act together, but obviously it's politics, right? Who knows when that's going to happen or if it'll ever happen. I mean, but there's other countries giving people like monthly, like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. They've been giving monthly since this whole thing happened.
which country?
I don't know. There's a meme out there, but good question, right? But I know like Canada's doing something for people. I know Australia's been doing something good for people. Some parts of Europe have been doing well for their people. And then here, the U.S. is like, here's $1,200 for almost a year.
I mean, like it's like it should be either like they allow the business to work and make money, or give them money. Like
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Either help them or
Let them work.
Yeah. Let them work. Right. And I'm sure most of those businesses would want to be working.
Yeah.
Right, And I know it's a serious thing. I know we have to take it serious, and we have to protect people, but still, people have livelihoods and stuff like that. There's better ways to handle it, right? Or at least give people their money.
Yeah, they need support for sure.
But yeah, so we're entering a new year, and we'll see what happens with this, and I'm just excited about everything that's going on with 2020 is over. We're in 2021. Hopefully we get our checks. Leave it in the comments if you got your check. Let us know. I haven't gotten mine. I know Joe got hers. Hatem.
Not
Hopefully
yet.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see if they give them. But we're in 2021 now, so we're excited about the future. We got some big goals for the podcast this year.
Thank you for tuning in. That was the end of part 1. Part 2 comes out next Monday, 9 a.m. Please stay tuned.
Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so that YouTube will let you know when the next one comes out.